Hey, and welcome back. Today is Thursday, February 4th, and we're going to jump right in and get started today. Tomorrow is a teacher workday, so you won't see me tomorrow, but I'll be back in full force on Monday, February the 8th. But until then, let's keep it moving. We looked at our calendar marker for today, yesterday already, so we don't really need to look at it again today. But I'll just show you what it looks like just to remind you. We will quickly update our calendar collector. So I am going to spin, and we need to add 30 degrees to what we already have. So yesterday we had, let me zoom in here. I believe we ended up with 46 because we started with 30, we added 1, and then we added 15, and now we are adding 30. So let's figure out 30 plus 46. What would it be? 30 plus 40 is 70, and then we have 76 still because it was 36 or 46 plus 30. So I need to find 76 on my circle here. Here's 70, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here is 76. So I can take a straight edge, which is going to be my straight line, to match it up to 76. And then I can make my arc because we're talking about angles. So today we've collected another 30 degrees for our angle. All right, and I will also update that on our recording sheet. Today, though, our focus is going to be spent primarily on reviewing the answers to your Solving Problems workbook page. So, if you'll get that out, we can get started. Page 60. We are starting with number 2. I want to know what equation you chose, and then we'll talk about what the correct equation was. Maybe you chose the correct equation. Hopefully you chose the correct equation. And if not, we'll figure out why the answer we got may or may not be correct. So while you're getting ready, let me refresh your memory about the strategies that we should use when we're picking the best equation. 1, find the equation that doesn't make sense. Remember we crossed out some equations? Then we look for the operations. So addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, that match the problem. Then we're going to think about how we're solving the problem, and we have to look at the parentheses because whatever happens in the parentheses, you should do first. Okay? So, number 2, Conrad is saving money for a new bike. He needs $175. If Conrad earns $15 a day for 6 days, how much more money does Conrad need for his new bike? Well, makes sense of the problem. He needs $175. $15 a day for 6 days. That's 15 plus 15 plus 15. Or it's multiplication, right? Repeated addition, multiplication. And then we still got to figure out how much more he needs. So maybe there's a variable or an unknown in an addition equation, or maybe you chose a subtraction equation. So let's see. Which one doesn't make sense? 15 plus 6 plus m equals 175. Does that make sense? No, we already know we need to multiply. It's repeated addition. M plus 15 times 6. Maybe. We know it's 15 times 6, so we're looking for operations. Are we doing 15 plus 6? Nope, crossing that one out too. So what'd you choose? B or D? Yeah, so B probably would be the best answer because we have the 15 times 6 in parentheses, and that tells us we need to solve that first. And whatever we get plus something is going to tell us that's the 175 he needs. So that something is actually the answer for how much more money. If we were to choose D, based on the order of operations, that could still work. But just to be on the safe side, I think that B is the best answer because there should be some parentheses here. Yeah, so if you know order of operations, parentheses, and then would be exponents, multiplication, and then division. So technically, maybe that would work as an answer as well. Let's look at number 3. So if you chose D, that's really okay because the order of operations would make this equation true. But back to number 3. Lauren saved $200 for a trip this summer. Her grandmother gave her some money for her birthday. Lauren also earned money babysitting. She earned $28 a week for 6 weeks. How much money did Lauren's grandmother give her? So we know she gave her some and that she earned $28 for 6 weeks. So what operation? Multiplication. So something plus that multiplication should be how much her grandmother gave her. Which one can we cross out? Are we adding this whole time? No, we are not. 28 times 6, 28 times 6, 28 times 6, yes. Is it plus 200? No, can't be plus 200. 200 was how much she had in total. So it would be her grandmother gave her something plus this should equal $200. That sounds right. Or $200 minus this equals what her grandmother gave her. That could also be correct. If you chose B, you were correct. If you chose D, you were correct. If you chose B and D, then you got a really good eye because there were 2 correct answers for this problem. And today, we're going to solve some more problems. Today, we're going to write the equation and solve. So far, we've only practiced identifying equations. Okay, so let's read this problem. Dylan rides the subway to and from school every day, 5 days a week. The subway ride is 17 minutes long. So to and from every day, 5 days a week. How long does Dylan spend going to school on the subway each week? First step is the same. Always make sense of what is happening in this problem. So go ahead and restate the problem in your own words. Now, I will say that it's important to know that it's to and from. That means twice a day for 5 days a week. So how many times is he really on the bus or on the subway? 10 times. And each time is 17 minutes. So let's make a quick estimate for the problem. If we know that he's on the subway 10 times, and each time is 17 minutes, then we can make an estimate and say it should be that he spent about 170 minutes. So I'm going to write that. 170 is my estimate. And I probably should label it with my unit because 370 anything. So let's actually solve the problem. 5 days a week, to and from, 17 minutes long. I'm actually, I think this problem is fairly easy for us to think about because we have Monday. I could write it out like this. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And I could put 17 on each of those days twice. So really, we have 17 times what? 17 times 10, which is exactly what our estimate was. And that's why I said this problem was kind of easy. So if we were to write an equation, maybe using some parentheses, what could we write? What do we do first? We know he's right. So five times a week or 5 days a week. And it's times 2 because he goes to and from. And then what do we do with the 17 minutes? We're also multiplying that times 17. It's going to give us our minutes. And we know that that is 170 minutes. Okay? I would like for you guys to spend time on number 2 independently. Okay? Number 2, you're going to do independently. It is on page 61 of your Number Corner book, just in case you weren't following along with me. Remember to think through the problem, make sense of what it's saying, then solve it, draw a picture if you need to, and then you can write the equation. If it helps for you to write the equation first, which it helps me to write the equation first, then by all means, do that. Take some time right now to work through number 2. Now, if you've already finished working the problem, that's awesome. Maybe you can open one of the apps that we've used, so maybe the Numberline app or the Whiteboard app, and you can show your work on the app and share a code with your teacher, or take a picture of your work and share it with your teacher so that she can see that you guys are actually thinking through these problems. And so we're not going to go over it together. I want to see that you are making the effort to complete the work using your brain, your math brains today. I won't see you tomorrow, but I will see you on Monday. So I'm going to say now, have an awesome weekend. And I'll see you again. Bye-bye.